Hello and welcome back to another exciting action-packed episode of the Movie Hoppers. And today we saw, get this, a movie. Can you believe it?
I can't.
I personally can. This is a first for the Movie Hoppers in which we review an actual
Yeah.
movie. But the movie we watched is on Netflix right now, and what is the name?
The Five Bloods.
Oh yes, it is Da Five Bloods with a D and an A and the number five and the word bloods. A Spike Lee joint. Uh, I guess for context, we should go over our thoughts on Spike Lee, what films we've seen. I've personally only seen Black Klansman. Uh, have you seen any Spike Lee movies?
Yeah, I think I only seen Black Klansman too.
Oh, that's good. Cause now, okay, so we are very
We're so well knowledge with Spike Lee's films.
yeah. I'm going to when I say Spike Lee movies, I'm just gonna be referring to Black Klansman from now on because I know I'm gonna forget that I've only seen one, and I'm gonna see. Oh yeah, just like in other Spike Lee films. I mean Black Klansman because that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
I would like to see more, but you know, it's that requires doing something like working or trying to pirate it. It just seems like a lot of work, but I hopefully in the future. But Death Five Bloods, new Spike Lee movie about this group of Vietnam veterans trying to retrieve some gold that they have lost or that they buried, and now they have to go back to Vietnam to get the gold and to get their friend's body. And yeah, what did you think of it?
Um, I didn't really know what to think about this movie
Mm-hmm.
because, like, in most parts, it was very like self-aware. It almost felt like a video essay about like the racial tensions and how they were treated like during that time and like how it's still happening and all that. And it was like very self-aware, especially in the beginning where it's like, hey, you know how these people did these certain things but like weren't recognized for it and then showed their pictures
Mm-hmm.
and like in info about them and like I didn't really know what the movie was supposed to be. Like, it wasn't supposed to be like a documentary. It was supposed to be a drama. It's supposed to be an action film, and like it kind of was like all of them combined. But it also almost didn't work for the film. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
I definitely think this my least favorite parts about Black Klansman and uh yeah, or just Black Klansman. I almost said and Spike Lee, but I realized that I know nothing. Um, but my least favorite part about Black Klansman was how Spike Lee kind of treated his audience like an idiot. Like they need everything to be spelled out to them,
Right.
and they, you know, and this it kind of was the same thing here, where they use this kind of out of place B-roll footage, and just I don't like that part um, of both movies, but I think in this one it was relegated mostly to the first half of the movie and not the second half, which I appreciated. But yeah, I definitely think yeah, I agree with the whole video essay thing. Spike Lee does not have. I don't know if he has like doesn't have faith in his audience, or if he just doesn't have faith in himself that he can't convey this without shoving it in people's faces. But he's not a very subtle director. Um, but
He
I
could have
did.
just been like so caught up in like wanting to convey the message of the film that is just like I gotta really hammer this into people. that
Yeah.
they understand that racism is bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that, yeah, Spike Lee kind of treats his audience like an idiot, which um I don't like. But most of my least favorite parts about Black Klansman was relegated to the first half of this movie. I think the first half was kind of weak, not bad, but at the same time not great. But I did enjoy the second half of this movie, which actually, like, kind of uh,
Things actually happen during
yeah,
it.
yeah, things actually happened, and it became like its own thing, and you didn't have all the weird editing stuff that he does, because there's certain times where he edits like an actual professional, and then there's other times he edits like it's a 1970s black exploitation film, and sometimes he just edits like he's a 15-year-old, and I really do. But again, most of that in this movie was relegated to the first half. Um, but I did like the second half of this movie. Very Apocalypse Now y in times, to the point of, I think, reusing similar music. Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
I don't think so.
I saw it
Trying to
once, but there's a bar named Apocalypse Now for some reason in the movie. I did not understand why there'd be a bar in Vietnam named Apocalypse Now, but anyway, it also uses similar music, and it felt very similar to Apocalypse Now. That's all I'm saying.
hmm.
Um, it's not quite as good, especially with the first half of this movie being as weak as it is, but it's not bad. But
Imagine having 2 hours of exposition.
yeah, it, it's it was on. Well, the thing is, it was on like 90 minutes of exposition, but it felt like 2 hours. But
Well, well,
well, I guess okay. State your claim. What are you trying to say here?
I was so bored
Mm.
during the majority of the movie. And like obviously it only got interesting in like the last 20%, 25% of it. So like I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was just so boring because they were setting up these characters and like it almost felt like yeah, they were war buddies. They're old war buddies, but it like I didn't get that. I didn't feel that connection because it felt like they just hated each other. Like especially with the the Trump supporting guy. It was just like they hated him. And like he was obviously he was very affected by the PTSD that he got from Vietnam, and it's like it just like almost didn't care.
I love
I don't know.
Spike Lee's sick sense of humor, making the mentally disabled man the Trump supporter. Good on you,
Yeah.
Spike Lee, for that that you know very interesting choice. But I see what you mean. Um, I I understood the characters. Like, I think that they were I think that they like each other, but they they're kind of victims of circumstance in this movie, where like what that lady said, money does weird things to people, and that's kind of what it did to them. I did actually enjoy this movie. Even at its weakest points, I did find some enjoyment out of it. Uh, it's I feel like it's written. It's definitely a slow movie. It's a slow burn.
Unnecessarily slow movie.
Well, okay. I think we're gonna disagree on this one. Oh, this is gonna be a spicy episode. Okay. Uh, Comparing this to Apocalypse Now again, for those who've seen it, that was also a slow movie, but it was building to something. I feel like this is similar. Except in Apocalypse Now, it like built up to like a physical place. In this movie, it kind of built up to it's more character based here. Um, how it kind of studied these characters and examined uh, shit. I can't fucking think of what I want to say here. But it is slow, but I feel like the payoff is worth it, and I feel like there's enough little things along the way to keep you going through. Uh, I was entertained, and I did enjoy it. But what did you not like? Did you not think there was a payoff, or did you not like the payoff, or?
I think this movie was trying to shove so much meaning into what it wanted to say that like it almost undermined itself in doing so. Because like it's like how the never-ending war affects these people was a big theme, and how like it wants you to like people to see how there are people like this, and like how it shows them interacting with things. But it's and then but I think what like got me was like the political aspects of it were like so ingrained into the writing and interactions that it kind of like almost ruined it, because like a lot of those aren't going to age well, and it's going to be very set in this time period, you know?
Yeah.
Because like with the Trump stuff, well, and it like it could be said for like other political leaders, like the same situations, but it's obviously very geared toward Trump and that those situations that like it's clearly a response to the current political climates, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. It just didn't. The movie didn't work for me. Like it was trying way too hard, and like yeah, and that goes back to how it was like over explaining these bad things, and it's like I don't know. It just took me out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Judging from BlacKkKlansman and this movie, doesn't seem like Spike Lee can really hold himself back when it comes to political things. Like he definitely oversaturates it when it's like not needed, and he just his political commentary skills do not seem to be very fine tuned. Judging on those two movies, and I just realized that this movie was actually not, like the whole time I thought this movie was like in like the 70s or 80s or something, because the one guy was like he had this video camera, and it was like he was shooting on film, like, and like I didn't even yeah, this had to be set in current day because of the Trump hat. Wait a second. Yeah. I just I thought because the guy had that weird video camera that this was like in the past. Oh, okay.
What I took from that was like it was different perspectives of each character. Like that one was like trying to capture the interactions between everyone else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With like that lens and that aspect ratio and whatever. It's like the old looking on to what's happening now, and like especially when they like do the flashbacks and the aspect. Do you notice the aspect ratio changed like all the time?
Yeah, I've only seen that in one other movie, Lucy in the Sky. I think it's been done. I also saw it in Waves, but Waves did it like really well. But yeah, I did notice that. What's your take on that?
And like I thought it was like that was a part of the like different situations and emotions that were going on with that. Like when they were in the flashbacks, it was old film reel and like intense, so it's small and old. I don't know. It was small and old and intense, so that like fit. But when they got back to the present, it was the widescreen. and like it's like okay, now we're in reality, and then it went to like the full, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's like
Yeah.
oh wow, now it's like a new intense scene or something, and it's like okay, so it played to the advantage of the different situations, and I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I I got that with the aspect ratio. I like that. Um, I also didn't mind um the whole commentary he had going there with the Vietnam War veterans thing. Uh, like you said that you kind of had a problem with like everything Spike Lee was saying in this movie, right? Like how he presented everything.
I mean, I don't have an issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I didn't like that it felt like a glorified PowerPoint.
Yeah. I mean, again, I felt that with the political points, obviously. Uh, but I did like how he presented and what he did with the whole Vietnam War veterans thing. It kind of felt like a parody of a Vietnam movie, except because it's like in the present day and it goes for a totally like different feel. And again, the themes seem very similar to Apocalypse Now. Going back to that movie because this obviously takes heavy inspiration from that. But I did like the what Spike Lee did with the whole Vietnam War veterans angle. I felt like that was managed well. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, again, the political stuff did feel like a PowerPoint. I didn't I didn't like when they were at the table and they was like passing a picture around, and then he felt the need to like only show like the picture on screen. Like he cut away from them like looking at the picture to show you the picture, like stuff like that. If that makes any sense, if you understand what I'm
Yeah.
referencing, I
Yeah.
I don't like stuff like that because you can actually like just see the picture in the scene itself. There's no reason to actually cut away at all. But
It was almost like Tarantino-esque,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
again,
really badly edited.
yeah, you saw that more in Black Klansman. Um, him really trying to be Tarantino and really try to be unique. And again,
Yeah.
in the first half of this movie, you saw that a lot. This whole like Spike Lee having ADHD, not knowing what the fuck he wants to do, so he tries to do everything at once. But the second half was definitely more focused, and
Definitely.
like that's why I like the second half more too, because the editing was more stable and it made more sense and that. But another thing
Yeah.
that I
If they
don't,
cut this movie in half, it'd be fine.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I see the merit in the first half of the movie because it kind of feels like build up. But
Yeah.
if they just edited it differently, I feel like it would have been better. Do you like this movie? Or do you not like this movie? Because you seem
I
to be waning on like the line.
it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the idea of showcasing like the black veterans that aren't like usually acknowledged, and I like that concept, but it was just very poorly executed.
Yeah, I can see that. I do like the whole black veterans thing, but I think I got something more out of the characters itself, and maybe because I've already seen Apocalypse Now, I kind of had that mindset. Like maybe watching Apocalypse Now is like a prerequisite because you have to be in a very similar a very similar mindset for both movies. But I did enjoy the movie. Um, fuck, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, another thing I didn't like though was how Spike Lee, especially in those PowerPoint parts, those video essay parts, he's so quick to just try to shock the audience. you saw that again. You saw that in Black Klansman a lot, where he just tries to show his audience the most disturbing, um, whatchamacallit, uh, like,
Imagery.
yeah, well, archive footage,
Yeah.
like, possible, and it just feels so cheap. That's like such a cheap trick. That's like almost a like what they would use in horror exploitation or something.
Right.
Um, and I
Dude,
don't
it
like
made me
that.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Like, I can handle gore to an extent, but it's like that was like the first 15 minutes of the movie.
yeah.
And I'm like, whoa,
And if
slow
you
down.
if you do it once, that's fine. But I mean, he again more in the first half than the second half. The second half I thought was great, but he does it way too much.
Yeah, it
Especially,
definitely
yeah,
impact.
especially with like the dead baby and stuff. Like, why did he kept that on the screen for like 15 fucking seconds? That was so unnecessary.
Okay.
Like, okay, man, we get it. It's a dead baby. Thanks a lot for showing us that. Definitely want to see that. And I get showing your audience things that they don't want to see, but there's other ways to like convey,
Right. And that
what.
goes back to him shoving it down. Like, hey, do you know this is bad?
Yeah, yeah. Spike Lee just does not handle political commentary
Imagine being
well.
subtle.
Yeah, imagine like thinking your audience isn't 5 years old and can actually pick up on your obvious, themes. But I think the political parts, um, although I do agree with a lot of what he says, it's the weakest aspect of this movie. But unlike Black Klansman, it doesn't like absolutely dominate it. This is like, I think the major themes are not that political. I know that a lot of other reviewers are gonna, pick apart how this movie relates to today, with the whole you know, fuck, I forgot the guy's name, but you know what I mean. But I think this movie is at its strongest when you look at it as a character study and as more of a for lack of a better word, parody of a
Yeah.
Vietnam movie. Kind of like twisting that concept on its head. And I think once you do that, you have a very competent, a very good movie. But I mean, do you have you said some positives, right? We don't have to do the corner of positivity.
Yeah, I've
Um,
said some.
yeah, you said okay. Yeah, I think you did. But do you have anything else to say before we get into spoiler talk?
Oh yeah, I got another positive. I
Oh,
thought it was interesting how they like there was very little music in this movie. Like it was like the majority of it was really only played during the action scenes,
mhm.
but then there also were action scenes without it. And it was like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Like, although like the flight of the Valkyries, so they're on the boat, it's like, why? Why are you playing that right now?
I think
But
I think that was an Apocalypse Now reference,
okay.
but I'm not positive.
But anyway, but like I thought that was interesting because it was very it almost made it like you were very focused on the movie instead of what was playing in the background.
Yeah, I agree with the music thing. Uh, I'm starting to notice this more and more, but so many movies just overuse music or just use at completely inappropriate times, and it becomes so overboarding. And that I only noticed it once in this movie, but I have to agree for most of the time the music was appropriate and it all made sense and like they didn't overuse anything or I didn't feel like they underused it either. Yeah, that was I like that aspect of it.
Especially when they were all like walking along the trail and singing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nice connection.
Is that what you actually said while you were watching that scene? Nice.
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, wow, characters interacting with each other.
Yeah. I know I'm shitting on Spike Lee a lot, but he does do some things well.
Yeah.
He just the negatives kind of they're very in your face. So, but
Which is unfortunate.
it is unfortunate because I do like the script, uh, and I do like what he's trying to convey, but again, the political stuff kind of feels ham-fisted in. Do you want to get to spoiler talk? Hello?
Uh,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
oh, sure.
Alright. Okay, so they find the gold bars, and then they find the guy, but then what did you think about the son? What did you think about the son character?
Um, I think he was very shoehorned in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like a necessary character in the end. Like almost as if he was kind of carrying the torch from his dad,
Yeah.
but took it into like a new way of thought almost.
Yeah.
That might be deep.
No, I do like that. I did like that character. I thought he was necessary. Uh, but one thing I didn't understand was how did they expect to carry all of that gold, like back?
I
Like,
think they thought the container would still be intact,
yeah,
but you
but
know,
it
since
was
it
not.
completely rotted out.
Also, how did they bring that dead guy back? Like, how they
I don't know. I thought they just left him there.
did they put him in like a backpack or something? Because I didn't see him like carrying anything. Like, I'm very oh, whatever.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't.
that
I thought they were like only there for the gold.
yeah.
Like obviously they got permissions from the government that like they actually have to bring his body back,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like they were very focused on getting that gold. And I'm like, where's your buddy?
Yeah.
Where go?
Also, the other characters really they talk about how like the money doesn't actually matter, right? But at the end when like they're at the abandoned village or whatever, um, and they find like the Vietnamese people find them, like the fact that they don't give up the money kind of gets like a lot of them killed.
Right.
Like
Well, they were like, yeah, we don't care about the money, but we really want the money.
it would be very nice to have.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. That was it was like I don't know. It was very clashing.
Yeah. Maybe
The
that's probably like one of the themes or something.
right, and that's what the Vietnamese lady said.
Yeah.
Like, people change, so here's a gun.
And um what else?
And then why were they so pissed that the lady gave him a gun? It's like, oh, she's a Vietnamese lady and she gave you a gun. That means that you're gonna betray us and shoot us to get more money. And I'm like, what? What?
Well,
Why? Why would he do that?
well, I guess it was because like a lack of trust thing. Like he didn't.
Right.
It showed that he didn't trust them. But yeah. Um. Did the guy die? Did the one guy who like got shot in the shoulder? Did he die?
No, because
Oh.
that was the dude that had the Vietnamese girlfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
But but everyone else died.
Yeah. It's very interesting how that one guy went, the Trump guy. I actually
Yeah.
I thought that was very entertaining, watching him walk through the forest and like fucking just it's kind of sad,
Just
but
lose it.
yeah, just
I actually, when he was walking through that forest, like, and monologuing to the camera, it's like, I don't know. It was very fourth wall breaky, and I didn't, it took me out, like,
really,
definitely. Yeah. I didn't think it worked for the movie, because, like, I don't know. Like, we, it's, because if you're staring at the camera, you're talking to us.
hmm
But then why are you talking to us about how you, how you, like, hate everything, you know?
yeah. I I
Like,
I kind of
you're
thought it.
going crazy
Yeah,
and you're talking to us, but you're talking to yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I don't, it just it didn't work for me.
yeah. I kind of got it. I kind of understood what they were going for there, but I can definitely see your point of view. Um, hmm, what else?
And
What
then he
else?
got bit by a snake.
And then he shot the snake.
Rip snake.
Yeah, damn. That's the saddest death of the whole movie. The
Yeah,
snake.
the snake.
uh, what else is there to talk about here? It's not a lot of spoily things to get into here. The only
Yeah,
spoilers happen in like the last like 10 minutes.
yeah.
Um, hmm. I liked. I thought it was good.
I was surprised that the one dude was Finnish because, like, completely forgot. Like, because I've only seen that dude in Black Klansman,
hmm
and he really sold that racist country person that, like, I didn't realize. Like, I didn't even look at the cast list of that. So I'm like, oh. But then when this dude, like, just started coming out speaking Finnish, I'm like, whoa, he's actually Finnish. Whoa, wild.
Yeah.
It's part of the movie, but I'm like, oh wow, it's neat.
so so you didn't like this movie?
I I don't know. Because, like, if it was edited better,
hmm
I think I would have enjoyed it.
Even I know you don't. I know you're not the biggest fan of like slow movies, so that probably has
I
something to do
if
with it.
it's if it's a decent slow movie, then I enjoy it.
mm-hmm.
But this was not a decent slow movie. It was an unnecessarily heavily expositioned movie with interesting parts toward the very end.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I guess.
It was played more, as you said, as a character study,
Mm-hmm.
which it was for the most part, but it it's not what the movie was about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Like, it's definitely about these people, but the message is almost more important to, like, the writing than the characters were.
Yeah. Um, I found it interesting how in most of the movie, like most of the movie, right? Like the they don't even run into a single mine. And then like in like 20 minutes, like three people just fucking blow up. Like just out of nowhere. Like they didn't even see a single mine.
Because
And
I had to have a payoff for the bomb mine people finding people. You set it up, you set up bomb finders, and then you have to pay it off.
and then you blow one of them up.
Blow them up.
Yeah, that was fun. That Trump guy was a real douchebag to the bomb mine people, though. That was
Yeah.
uncalled for. I thought, like, when they cut to the people, you know, when they were digging up the gold, and then they cut to the people like stalking them with like guns,
Mhm.
but you only saw them for like a split second. I thought those were the bomb mine people until
Mhm.
I realized I thought those were like the guys from the bar, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, you know, whatever. Do you have anything else to say about this?
Nah.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
take a shot every time they say blood.
um,
It was so. It just got so obvious after a while. I'm like, how many times have they actually said this in this movie?
also, the the Deus Ex Machinas in this movie, the two major ones,
Oh my
have
god.
like he just happened to be taking a shit right on top of the gold. Like, what the fuck's the chances? And
That
he
pissed me off so much. I'm like, really? Really?
and what happened to the? I thought they said that they saw like a the wing of a plane. Like, where
Plane's
did
just gone. Plane's
it?
gone.
No, it's gone. They took it away. Also, the the guy asked, "Is this the right coordinates?" And the other guy said yes. If they knew the exact coordinates of where the gold was, why were they like lost in the first place? Why didn't they just go to the coordinates? And
Because terrain's different.
I see, I see. Also, the bomb people just somehow ending up in the exact same spot.
So they heard a noise. And they had to check it out. They were going back to camp.
um. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's this movie is rough around the edges. Not gonna lie, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Again, especially the second half. If you like Apocalypse Now, you'll probably like this movie. It's not as good, but it is very similar in structure and stuff like that. But anyway, number ratings. You go first.
All right. Uh, I don't know. I like the message, although it was very heavily skewed by the politicalness of it. But I don't know. I'll give it a 5.5.
Oh, a 5.5. Huh.
I think that's okay.
Um, the again, if you like Black Klansman, you like this movie. Like this is like Black Klansman meets Apocalypse Now. It takes, you know, Spike Lee's style of filmmaking and applies it to a war movie. At least in the first half. But if you don't mind waiting, and if you don't mind just vibing with it for a bit, just you know, if you don't mind Spike Lee's wackiness, um, then I think you can get something out of this movie. It's a unique experience, and I really enjoyed it personally. Um, I'm gonna give it in fuck between a 7.5 and an 8.
Wow.
I guess I'll give it an 8. Fuck it, why not? Again, the political commentary was completely off point and completely fucking distracting, but the second half was just so strong that it justifies the whole first half of the movie. So yep, uh, go watch it. It's on Netflix. And yeah, thank you guys for watching the Movie Hoppers, and goodbye.
So yeah.